Let's do it.
All right, so Amber, what is a public matter for this week?
So this is going to be a part 2. We're going to talk about the Rona mandates.
Rona!
And so maybe if I say it that way, we might not get the little warning signs underneath. I doubt it. I mean, I think as soon as you say anything...
Algorithms pick up on what we're saying.
And then we have more discussions about the Maui fires.
Yeah, there's a few things coming up on that. We may not even get the Rona. We might just, we could do some time.
With, the Maui fires.
We could. I don't know how long this is going to play out, so...
Well, I find the only thing about the Rona issue is I like how Alex Jones made a comment about different mandates happening, and then they try to debunk it, but then it's true.
You know who's doing the debunking on this?
Who's doing it?
You know where it comes? It comes from factcheck.org.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know who owns these?
Milo is going insane.
He is going insane.
No, who owns it?
Well, factcheck.org is owned primarily by Mr. Bill Gates.
Oh, Mr. Bill Gates himself.
Yeah.
Who's all about the Maui fires. No, I'm just kidding. He's not.
He had a blue roof on his place in Maui.
He did, and I think he's going to be one of the ones that, like, buys up the land. But that's also a...
Oprah had a blue roof, too, and I don't know about that.
Neither do I. I don't know how that works. So, let's get into the Maui fires.
The Maui fires. So, there's some interesting things that have come out. For instance, and we don't know the answers to this. You can only surmise because of the anomalies that took place there, which we'll talk about a little bit to bring people up to speed. Did you know that Hawaii is one of the main bases for this country for our Space Force?
Actually, no.
Well, they're really an extension of the Air Force at this point, and NASA, but I don't know how they work exactly. But you know what they have out there? Their direct energy weapons are...
Wait, so this is the DEWs, right? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, direct energy weapons like lasers and sound waves and light waves and things like that, where they can direct them and create certain effects like
certain
fire.
Weather effects.
I don't know about weather. That would be more in another area. But these are direct. Like for instance, there's some stock footage of a 747 with a giant laser in the nose of it. I mean, well, that's where it emanates from, and they can hit targets accurately. They can basically put enough heat on a target about 60 miles away or so, where they can destroy it. But there's certain limitations to these weapons, like a laser apparently has things that are colored light blue. So I have this on.
But that's good that you have it. I mean, I have it dark, but I don't think... yes, I did. I saw a bunch of those pictures and different videos. Like, I've seen the videos of them going through the fabrics with the different colors.
Isn't that interesting?
It is. And then I find it amazing that there's a lot of... what are they? The rich people's houses, wealthy houses that are this bluish color that looks exactly the same as the color that the laser doesn't light up.
Well, here's some other interesting things that go along with it. Have you seen some of the footage coming out of Maui? And there's also some gags on information coming out of there, too, and we'll talk about that. But they were going through some burned vehicles, and in a burned vehicle... Now, don't ask me how this, but inside of a burned vehicle was a blue T-shirt. And then further down, there was, they showed evidence where even though the car was nearly destroyed, it didn't suffer nearly the damage as other vehicles that were not, this was a blue car, by the way.
Yeah, I did see some of those. A lot of the blue cars were not as melted or destroyed as some of the other cars.
And we're just talking about the evidence. Anybody can look this up, and we encourage you to do this. The cars that were, people were trying to escape, so they abandoned their cars. And there was no sign of grass or trees around these cars being scorched, except right in the area of the cars. But you'd have a huge distance between where the fires were or weren't, and these cars, and the cars where the glass was melted out of glass. Now, I've seen car fires before, and I have never seen The glass melted out, but the glass was melted out. The rims, which were aluminum, which burn around, 1,300 degrees or more, were just molten puddles running down there. But the grass, this wasn't like an ember landed on these cars. These cars were abandoned in this area, and these cars were all just destroyed. I mean, completely destroyed. It wasn't like a fire in a vehicle. You had the glass melted out of them. Very strange.
Yeah, and the other thing that I find to be weird about this whole thing is that when they were telling people to evacuate or to stay or whatever, they weren't even giving them the right information. The people that went
They weren't getting any.
Well, the thing is, the power lines, because first I thought it was a hurricane that actually caused the fires.
Right.
Now it's this power line company that caused them. And there's different people that are getting
Do you know who is the greatest owner of the power line company out there? Power company?
I don't know.
It happens to be Vanguard.
Weird. And they also wanted this land. Before this, I think they wanted to try to take some of their land.
Isn't it interesting that most of the land that burned was the land that people of the Islanders are holding on to? It's the most valuable real estate in the country per square inch.
Right. So they were trying to keep their land, and then these different bills got passed. Like a week or a
month.
Yeah.
Last month.
That I don't really know the bills because I only
Well, for instance, I think what you're referring to is when if there's a natural disaster
yes.
and your home is destroyed, the state can take your property.
Right. And then, the government gives them $700, so they should be able to find something else, right?
Here's another one, too. It's people are reporting on it. I haven't really dug down into it, but I've watched the reporting on it, and it's been more than one, so it bears looking at. Is when you sign up for FEMA assistance, let's say you want assistance from FEMA for certain things, you're essentially signing over your rights to your property to FEMA. So that bears looking into. And do you hear about the drinking water they're sending out there? People are getting sick left and right from the drinking water they're supplying to these victims.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah. So you have these anomalies taking place. You have that conference that took place out there about AI technology and 15-minute cities that
oh yeah, because that's the
Hawaii.
other thing is that they want to do I think they're trying to call them smart cities.
Smart city, that's correct. Well, they got away from the 15-minute cities.
Well, because it doesn't sound as good, and then
No, it
I
doesn't.
think that
Smart city.
they were, because they've already tried selling that. There was so many different places that were not interested in that.
Yeah.
They didn't feel that that was too Marxist. And so the smart city sounds a little bit better.
Yeah.
But the thing about the smart city and the thing about all of that is that you really essentially, like, I feel like we're beating a dead horse with the line that he says that you'll own nothing and like it. I mean, essentially that's what's happening in these smart cities because they build them in places that have no real resources to get away from around them. I mean, these people, they already trapped them inside with this fire. They were barricading different barricades that these people had to either get past or go into the water. So people were just escaping and getting into boiling water and dying.
That's correct.
And yet they were barricading them in because they were like, oh, this is a down power wire. Well, I don't care. Keep driving. Go on. You got rubber tires. Go, go, go. I don't understand this. This doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, they were turning them around. They were basically blocking them in.
Right, to the fire.
To the fire. And they told the children, they sent the children home.
From school.
And then the warning system was down. You had all these coincidences, and there's just too many of them for all this. And then you have these anomalies taking place with the fire. You know, these blue roofs or the blue cars. You know, these cars.
The Bahama Mama or what are they? Tommy Bahama umbrellas that don't get. Did you see all those pictures?
I did not see that.
So there's a row. I think it's like a resort or something.
Yeah.
Of all these Tommy Bahama, which is that like blue teal kind of, basically the same blue that they paint everything, and they're all in a row, and it's like perfect. And there's fires around, and it's like all melted and disgusting. But there's these umbrellas that are just chilling.
Yeah.
Still there, fully. I mean, they're umbrellas. It's just fabric. They're not. There's no way that it's flame retardant that you could get glass and aluminum, but you can't get this fabric. I mean, come on, this is crazy.
There's something going on here, and there's just too many things. And you remember, like you just mentioned, Schwab saying, you'll own nothing and like it.
Yeah.
And then you remember at the World Economic Forum, I think it was Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, made a statement, about, how we got to get people to get involved with these certain things, like, talking about
the Agenda 2030.
Yeah, the corporate equity, DEI stuff.
Yeah.
And they said, we'll have to force them. So I think this is what what we're talking about here, is forcing people to do things. These people didn't want to sell.
No.
And they're talking about smart cities, and then we have this fire with all these coincidences taking place. There's just too much behind this to dismiss any of it. And I'm very, very skeptical of this.
I mean, the thing that's insane is that Alex Jones is looking more and more sane about everything he's said or been saying or that he says. And, not that I discredit what he says, because, I think what he has to say is valid. He's a little bit overzealous for me, but it comes to be true, all of these things that they're saying.
Yeah, seem to be.
He made a statement, I don't know when it was, maybe it was recent, I just recently saw it, where he said that he thinks, now this has nothing to do with the Maui fires, but he thinks that Trump will be assassinated. Because that's the next step. You've already indicted him how many times? Right.
4 times?
What is the next step after that? Because nothing is sticking.
Well, I don't know what they're going to do, but I think what we're talking about here is what are they capable of doing?
Well, obviously, you see, they're capable of killing thousands of people,
well,
not even
this
knowing
is what
where
it comes
they
down
are.
to. What are they capable of doing? And what are they willing to do? What the prices they're going to pay? So what we're saying here is, I think there's about 1,500 children missing right now. Children.
I think so, yeah.
So they're willing, it seems, to if this is true, and this isn't just all a bunch of coincidences, like Obama's chef and Clinton's chef drowning, just.
Oh, well, wait. So, did you hear more?
Wait a minute, but this isn't. They're willing to take people's lives to accomplish.
They're willing to take massive amounts of lives. It's not
Their
just
goal.
a chef here or a administrator here or an advisor there. It is just regular people. This is I think this is probably going to get us.
So tell me about what's going on with the chef. I haven't heard this.
Oh, I'll tell you. This is almost like 9/11 information. The
Building
fact,
7.
right? It just randomly blows up, and we're supposed to be like, "Oh, okay, thanks, got it."
Oh, it's paper fires that took that building down, right? Nothing hit it.
Exactly. Or the Pentagon with the plane, they can't find all the pieces. Come on.
Yeah, it's only got a little hole in it, and the plane flew
Right where they
6
were
feet off the
supposed to.
ground, which is impossible.
Exactly. And there's cars, people talking about
And the thing is though, there is a large portion of society that believes this, and there's another large portion of this society, this country, that don't even care.
Well, that's the biggest thing, is that they're basing it on the fact that we get so much dopamine from social media that who cares? It doesn't matter.
Nobody cares. Because when you've got this, and you can go and get your grande from...
Oh, yeah, you're large in 3 different languages. So okay, the chef. You want to know what happened to the chef? Okay, so I haven't researched this. I just saw some different videos on it. And so it says that he was found naked on floating or whatever. So he had no clothes on.
Did the current take his clothes off?
In the lake.
Pond.
The pond, I guess.
I'm just trying to figure out what they might come up with. And Obama wasn't there, but no, then he was there.
Right, and the
100
pond,
feet from shore and 8 feet of water.
Right, and he was a swimmer, but now he's not. He wasn't really that great of a swimmer. He was okay. So they are saying he was naked. The person that was with him was a woman. And so they're trying to shelter this whole thing. And that, maybe he was on something. They're not sure.
Did he leave the cocaine in the White House?
He probably did.
I didn't hear any of this stuff, by the way. I have not seen any of this.
I haven't actually been
I'm gonna look at it.
researched it, but yeah, they've been finding different things. Like they found his death accidental. They didn't say that he had drowned. They didn't.
Oh, of course.
They didn't. They just that's it. So they're not giving you all of the information. They're not going to. I mean, who? I guess you could technically drown in I think it's a spoonful of water or something. I think that's the
I mean, technically you could.
But anyways, so yeah, they're saying he was found naked and the person that was with him was a woman. So she wanted to hide her identity. So that's why she didn't, try to save him or whatever.
This is kind of like of course, Vince Foster committed suicide, but, the impossibility of what he did or that one guy that was found hung.
With a shotgun and a shot.
No, that's another one. We're talking about Vince Foster, which was part of the Hillary's.
Okay, yes.
Okay,
I know that one. I thought you were talking about the guy that was hung, but he also shot himself with a shotgun. The shotgun wasn't found.
Well, when you're killing yourself.
Hung himself. He shot himself, then he hung himself.
You could do it.
Yeah. You could totally shoot yourself in the chest.
Committed suicide, shot in the back twice with a shotgun.
That's it, yes. And then you hang yourself. So then you walk up there and you hang yourself. And you hang yourself.
There's just so many people connected with the Clintons that have just died. Arkansas did.
Hey. Well, we're getting off topic.
We are getting off. It's easy.
So the new guy, I can't say his name. What's his name? The new Republican guy, the guy who...
Oh, the Indian?
Yeah. What's his, Vivek? How do you even say his name?
You got me, but I know who you're talking about.
So anyways,
he's just a shill, by the way.
But the thing is, I did see this video that talked about what he says, which is similar to how Obama got people to join on his thing, where he was like, I'm just a kid, a scrawny little kid, and blah, blah. He has the same thing.
But here's the thing. He says things that other conservatives, if you want to call them conservatives, are saying, and the media doesn't eat them all up. And here's the other interesting thing. He worked for a pharmaceutical company.
Yes.
Made zero amount of money. And he just made a ton of money by selling, I forget how many shares that he held. He just made a gazillion dollars.
But here's the thing. He actually got his, I think he went to law school or did some kind of intern. You know who paid for that?
Obama?
A George Soros group.
Yeah.
So he's already bought and paid for before. I mean, who cares? They're all the same. DeSantis, he's gotten some donations from a different group.
DeSantis killed me when he did not disavow the fact that George Soros was backing him.
Right. So there's that.
That was a clue. So
the guy's doing both sides of the aisle. George Soros doesn't care. He's just whoever's going to do it or be the front runner. He wants them to do what he wants them to do. So this whole fires thing is, I think, just an extension of that.
Ashani or whatever his name. I can't remember.
Yes, that's closer than how I got it. So yeah,
we'll just call him Alphabet. Ravik Prashant. Is that it? Is there enough alphabet there? I don't know. Indian names. I'm not knocking Indians, but
I don't know how you say it. So anyways, it doesn't, the thing with the fires is,
there's just too many coincidences. You don't have that many coincidences. You've got the on-scene commander for the Las Vegas shootings who ends up over in Hawaii as a police chief under this. So you've got two major events under his belt, which is, this is like being at Sandy Hook and then also being at the Boston bomber thing there, for the, that's that kind of, the chances of this happening are just this is like being at Normandy and Pearl Harbor at the same time, during World War II, not the same time, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The chances of this are just so slim. And the fact that he's also the coroner out there, which is amazing.
Well, I mean, that's not unheard of.
Well, it's against the law out there, apparently, and I've read...
Is it?
It's against the law, but the fact of the matter that he was the on-scene commander for the Las Vegas shooting, and now he's a police chief out here, and nobody's able to interview this guy, and he doesn't give interviews. And nobody's answering why the water was shut off. Okay, this guy wanted to have some equity discussion before he turned the water on to fight fires that were taking people's homes and lives. Come on. That's just bullshit on the face of it. You can't even make that argument. That's just so bullshit. They turned that water off just to allow destruction to take place.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the thing that's amazing to me, though, is that, like, how is it that we, as a country, are more upset about Ukraine?
Oh, we're going back to Ukraine.
I always bring it up.
Zelensky, the former actor who liked to be a partial transvestite, is now the president.
Oh, and he's not going to hold elections.
Oh, wait a minute. That's almost what we're doing in this country by arresting our... You know what he did to his opposition? Had him arrested, and he barred his opposition party. But now...
I'm not surprised.
Now he wants the United States...
Of course he does.
...to pay for their elections. If you want elections in my country, you got to pay for them. But yes, we care more about Ukraine. You had this question last week. How much have we spent over there? $178 billion. Round it off. It's nearly $200 billion has gone there.
And we want to give our citizens $700.
That's correct.
Each.
Yeah. I'm not a nationalist in that respect. I am not a socialist in that respect. But when you have people that are suffering in nursing homes because they can't afford, certain care, and you have people in this country whose homes, we should take care of our own long before we consider the border over there instead of our own border and so forth. We need to take care of our own. So in that respect, I am very nationalistic.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not interested in spending more money. But if I'm already going to shell out $200 billion to a country that...
We have no treaty.
We have no treaty. What are we getting from this? What is the exchange? What are we given for this $200 billion that my children's children's children will be paying taxes
You can't
for?
tell me you're safer because we're not going to be safer. What we're doing is we're going closer to probably a war with another country.
With two other countries. I think China and Russia are coming together.
Oh, look what happened. Russia no longer buys our oil.
Nope.
They no longer use American dollars when they purchase oil. So we're losing on something, and then we've given them American treasure. We are, when they call this an American, what it is right now, this is taxpayer-funded warfare in another country where we have no business being.
And
they're not safer. We're not safer.
Well, here's the thing. I actually just posted a meme that said, how is it that 1,000 Russians into Ukraine is considered an invasion? And we are, how many people just walk across our borders isn't considered an invasion?
We're over 6 million right now. Over 6 million that we know of have crossed the border in the last 2.5 years. And we know there's probably several million more. So you're probably looking at right now, since all this nonsense with the border has been going on, people have been crossing under various administrations, you're probably looking at 34 million illegal people in this country that have crossed the border.
And that's not an invasion.
Yeah, but we're worried about another country's, that's not...
And he's over here asking for more money. I'm sorry, just because he's not wearing a suit and it looks like he's in army fatigues or some kind of
I know, isn't that ridiculous? Like, he can't afford to...
Put on a suit. You're asking people for money. I mean, at least...
But the president of Syria, which is truly at war all the time, can wear a suit.
Oh, yeah, he can. Whatever. This is...
It's theater. He comes from theater. This is theater.
Oh, of course. He's kissing ass just to get more money from us. Because they have none, and he wants to have more things.
Have you seen the video of him playing a piano with his Johnson?
No, you talk about it all the time.
Have you seen the videos of him dancing around in leather pants and stiletto heels that are like 8 inches tall? Have you seen those videos? This is the guy that is now the leader of that country.
Or supposedly.
What we're doing over there is we're protecting
what Biden has been making money off.
A laundry process for this country. We've got biolabs over there, bioweapon labs. Supposedly there's nuclear research and weapons construction going on over there. And, we have everything else that's going on. And this isn't a war. We're not over there helping Ukraine do anything. We're trying to protect dirty nonsense this country's been up to.